Charles, we knew Butler was going to be moved. What did you think when you heard he was headed to Philly?
Well, I think the Sixers realized, number one, Brendan has some great points. They knew they weren't going to win the way this team was structured right now, so they're going for it right now. I mean, I actually think it's a great trade for both teams. I like Covington and Saric. Bates is a really good, solid backup. But this is a great trade for the Sixers. They had to do something because they know right now Toronto, Boston, and Milwaukee, all three of those teams are ahead of them in the Pantheon in the Eastern Conference. And I think the reason the trade going to work is Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons does not need the ball to make a difference in the game. Now, if you had three guys who all needed the ball, it would be a total different scenario. But being such a great player, he can score 10 points and win the game. So now they got a guy who's a great offensive player, a great defensive player. The only thing I worry about with the Sixers is, man, they gave up a lot. I mean, now they got to get some guys. They got to fortify their bench. I know they're waiting on Wilson Chandler. I'm a big Chandler fan, but they gave up a lot. And I think this trade is going to be great for both teams in the long run because Minnesota, they had to do something. It was a toxic situation. But I think under the circumstances, this is going to be a great trade for both teams.
Charles, I have a question for you. Now, you talk about Ben Simmons scoring without the ball, but a lot of the time we see him thrive actually with the ball. Do you think there's going to be an adjustment period, and how long do you think that adjustment period will be? You being a star yourself, playing on different teams, how long did it take you to get comfortable playing with other stars? Well, I think,
that's why I think it's going to be great for them that Ben doesn't need the ball to make he don't have to score. He's content to get a triple-double. I think he's content to get a bunch of rebounds and a bunch of assists. Now, so I think this transition is going to be a lot easier. Listen, for right now, number one going to be Embiid. Number two going to be Butler. Number three is going to be Simmons. So I really think this is a great trade for both teams. But, I take my hat off to Elton Brand, man. This is his first move as the new GM. Hey, and that's pretty good splash, I would say.
Keith, 76ers 8-5 right now, coming off a second-round exit in the playoffs last year. What does this deal tell you about their expectations for the rest of this season?
I mean, this deal basically tells me that, they really want to, go further. I mean, the goal for the Sixers is to make it to the Eastern Conference Finals. I mean, that's their goal. And when you look at Jimmy Butler, I think this is more so for them, like, getting a third star long term. Like, if you look at it, the thought is that it will be hard for them to get someone in free agency, but if you got someone like right now, you'll have their bird rights. You can offer them the 5-year max. And I think that they're hoping that that's going to be enticing enough for him to stay. And that's the reason why I think they got it. They got it for this season, but make no mistake, they also got it for moving forward in the next couple of years.
Keith, it's Mike Fratello. So the question now is, do they go after someone else to replace one of the two big bodies that have now moved on? Because they basically are light in front court people when you look at what happened.
You know what, that's a great question, and I think they have to. I think they do. I mean, you look at it, there's a guy, Furkan Korkmaz, who sits at the end of their bench. He wants to be moved. So they can, get rid of him. Also, this guy, Patton, who they acquired in the trade, he's a guy that's injured. Now, I'm not saying that things are going to happen, pronto, but I do believe that they have it set up to whereas they can make a trade or they can waive someone and they can pick someone up like they did last year off the waiver wire because you look at it, that is a weakness right now, the 4 spot. So I think that they're going to try to, see what goes on a little bit, but they are definitely, I believe, going to make a move.
Keith, Brendan Haywood here. How do you feel this trade affects Ben Simmons? Jimmy Butler being a guy that needs the ball in his hands, Ben Simmons, a guy that traditionally likes to have the ball in his hands. How do you think Ben adapts now that he's probably going to be the third option?
And that's a tough one for him. I mean, just because of that, he's a ball-dominant player. Now, he has played some 4 and a lot of sets recently just to get Markelle on the floor. But at the same time, you are right. We're going to learn a lot about Ben Simmons because he's going to be asked now not to be the second guy, but the third, and in some sets, the fourth guy on the fourth option on the floor. And we'll find out how he'll deal with it.